Saludos mi gente. Y este evento de fútbol latino comenzará en unos minuticos, mi gente. Bienvenido aquí a este juego y gracias por su apoyo, por su visita. Si están viendo esto después de su grabación, ya ustedes saben que estamos aquí en vivo, semana tras semana, streameando deporte de todo tipo. Y esto va a comenzar, mi gente. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué vamos a hacer?
We welcome you to this Thursday night tussle in the Major Arena Soccer League, live from Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, as the Empire Strikers look to do battle with their Southern California neighbors and rivals, the Sandiego Sockers. Anytime these two teams battle it out together, it is always electrifying and fun. My name's Christian Filliman alongside the coach Artie Kyrell. Artie, 60-second meeting all time between these two franchises. But the Strikers are in a position where they could do something that they haven't done since 2021, and that's actually win the series against Sandiego.
Yeah, San Diego sitting on top of the table, but I'm sure this is a craw, on their side that the Strikers have the advantage. Strikers need these points big time, to keep it rolling and maintain their homestand presence. So big points tonight for the Strikers. Sockers, though, I'm pretty sure want to send a message.
Sockers absolutely want to send a message and not let their little brothers from up north smack them around. Empire would like to do something otherwise. Sandiego is the first place team in the league. And with the amount of depth and talent they have, it's no surprise. One of the key signings over the course of the offseason was Nick Pereira from the Tacoma Stars. Now, people were wondering whether or not another chef can deal in this kitchen. But Nick Pereira has not only been a piece of Sandiego's success, he's been the success. 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points. There's no stopping the Iberian Brickhouse.
He just got 3 against Tacoma. He's been doing very, very well. And to be fair, that's going to be the Achilles heel of the Strikers potentially with the target play of Nick Pereira. If they're able to establish him early and get to his feet, it's going to be a long night. But I'll tell you what, Philly, it's going to be a great battle between Berto and Pereira for the umpteenth time, and it's going to be a great time to watch.
Robert Palmer, the captain of the Empire Strikers, leads the squad alongside Justin Stinson, who's coming into his own late in the season. A couple of key omissions that we do have to factor in. The Strikers will be without Munir Alami, and here's a player who scored in every game against Sandiego, including 4 straight. For Sandiego, they will be without Tavoy Morgan, who doesn't come back until the next game. They'll be without Charlie Gonzalez, and Leo de Oliveira is also going to be missing. Anytime he's taken place on this turf and battled it out against the opposition, they've done very well. But the signing of Nilton DeAndrade from Utica City FC, he had an incredible game. 2 goals, 2 assists here. Just a couple of weeks ago, he could add another bit of spark to Sandiego's fury.
You're always talking about San Diego and the schedule and the injuries and the things that are going on there, and they sit tops in the table. So, adding Andrade, the rich get richer, and so it's going to be a great situation tonight for the Sockers to come out and just express themselves, but it's going to equate to a great time for the fans tonight here at Empire Toyota Arena.
Will the Strikers win the season series, or will Sandiego manage to get the tie? It's going to be a lot of fun going on here in this building, and also, one other thing. It is Ninja Turtle night after all, so we'd be remiss if we didn't collectively put on our masks and give you all one heck of a cowabunga. Strikers, Sockers, and it's coming up live on MASL TV and KBCR PBS. Kickoff on the other side of the break. We'll see you there, dudes.
Proud to partner with your Empire Strikers. On the field, in the community, we defend the Empire. Sign up for our free soccer clinics and meet your favorite striker. Community, passion, this is your
Esto va a estar
Empire.
comenzando en un momento, mi gente. Ya ustedes saben. Espero que disfruten esta transmisión. Y ya acuérdense de suscribirse y prender la campanita para que así le lleguen los avisos de eventos así como este y de otra categoría de deporte, mi gente. Y todo esto en vivo y totalmente gratis, llevado a su casa, mi gente. A su casa. Ya ustedes saben.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, homestyle favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on MASL TV, and we'd also like to extend the warmest of welcome to our audience tuning in on KVCR PBS.
Y recuerden, mi gente, este pleito del día de hoy está siendo transmitido en la arena de Toyota. Recuerden que vamos a estar jugando Sandiego, mi gente, Sockers contra los Strikers, mi gente, y vamos a ver si esto está duro en este día de hoy.
As this facility is about to witness the 6th regular season meeting between the Sandiego Sockers and the Empire Strikers. My name's Christian Philemon, but my friends call me Philly. Since we're all hanging out today, we're all friends. Alongside the coach himself, Artie Kyrell. Artie, this should be a banger of a contest. These two teams, there's a lot of love and a lot of the opposite of love between these two teams, but this season so far, Strikers have managed to beat Sandiego 3 times. That's never happened over the course of a regular season.
This is going to be another barn burner. You know, every time they come together, it's a big battle. But this one has got a lot for Sandiego to get back and level the series.
And we're underway, live under the bright lights of Toyota Arena. The Empire Strikers wearing the white jerseys, the Sandiego Sockers wearing the blue. Your officials, somewhere on the field is Servando Berna, Jose Landa, Viviana Diaz, and Jesse Santamaria.
It's a big 3 points for the Strikers tonight, Philly. They've got 3 victories, but 2 of them were overtime. So tonight they've got to get to 3 to really get as close to that 31-point mark they can, as close as they can to that 31-point mark.
Starting in between the sticks for the Empire Strikers is Brian Orozco. For Sandiego, Chris Toth making his return to Toyota Arena. Former member of this franchise, the Empire Strikers. Now, you mentioned this would be a crucial win for the Strikers. The Sandiego Sockers are currently sitting in first place. But one thing to note about this team, they're incredible at home. They're even better on the road. In fact, they have the best road record in the Major Arena Soccer League, so that says bad news bears for the Empire Strikers, a team that has gone 2-3 in their last 5, but so far control the series, which has been interesting.
Indeed. You know, I mean, yeah, it's Front Wave Arena hasn't been overly, they haven't quite got the groove at Front Wave Arena yet. Let's just put it that way. You know, it's not Pachanga for sure, but you know, they're going to come on. I'm really excited for today's game, Philly, primarily because both teams are rested. You know, we've talked in the past about the scheduling and the Strikers' opponents and such, but there's no excuses tonight.
I thought you were more excited that it was Ninja Turtles night and you're hanging out next to Donatello to your left. That's what I thought you were going to say.
That's why I'm standing tonight. There's just so much energy. I got to stand. You know, I'm afraid you might Ninja Turtle me from behind or something.
No, there will be no martial arts. I'm afraid of pulling my groin. Motion creates emotion, as we see Walter Diaz-Gonzalez motioning his way across the midfield, taken back by the Sandiego Sockers. Couple key omissions, and we referred to it during the pregame show. The Strikers will be without Munir Alami, who leads the team in scoring and has scored a goal in every contest between the Strikers and the Sockers. In addition, he's been on a 4-game tear. So the Strikers lose a lot of offense with Alami out of the lineup. And for Sandiego, they're also missing a lot of key components. Tavoy Morgan still sitting on that red card infraction. He will be back in the next game. No Leo de Oliveira, who's always a thorn in the side of the Strikers, as there's a foul whistle down on the turf. And also, no Charlie Gonzalez, but they do bring back Cesar Serra, and we're all very lucky to witness the going away tour for the captain of the Sockers. Craig Childs makes his return to Toyota Arena for the last time in his illustrious career. One of the athletes on the Mount Rushmore of San Diego athletes. I'm not just talking indoor soccer. I'm talking San Diego athletes across the entire sporting spectrum.
Well, Strikers are hoping to bring him back one more time, right, for playoffs, hopefully.
That would be the case. So. Strikers are hanging on by a thread. They are 3 points ahead of the Tacoma Stars. And Tacoma just beefed up, taking the Strikers Clayson DeLima and Uzi Tayu and Frank Tayu off the wall. That pass goes. And so Tacoma, a team that struggled on the road, really revamps their offense. So it'll be interesting. But every contest from here on out for all teams really carry a lot of weight. Excellent header from Craig Childs, trying to go into his teammate Seba Mendez. Dyerson Gratterall in a Schlier. Strikers struggling to get it out of their midfield. And bringing back a player the likes of Cesar Serra. I mean, he's such a dynamite player for San Diego. Crucial component defensively for head coach Phil Salvaggio and company.
Just big, you know, you're able to kind of flow more freely on the top. You know, he's a leader, you know, on the ball, off the ball, he gets those runs forward, becomes dangerous. But he's just, you know, ticking composure there for everybody to settle down and play. You know, you got Pee Wee coming in tonight as well, another veteran that's going to settle things down. I mean, it's going to be a big game. It's a big game overall. You know, that the dust is starting to settle. San Diego wants to get on that championship form. Strikers need to reinforce the fact that they're there and put that separation with Tacoma. So everyone's got to step up and play tonight.
If you want to see a juicy battle today, folks, if you're tuning in for the first time, that man right there, Robert Palmer, the captain of the Strikers, leading the counter off the wall, tries to find his teammate, Dyerson Gratterall. Gratterall has experienced a bit of success here in his rookie season, coming out of Venezuela. And he's going to head back to the Pine Pony. But the thought that I wanted to finish is Palmer, 51, taking on Pereira, 77 for the Sockers. Again, so many chefs in the San Diego kitchen, but with 14 goals, 14 assists. Safe to say that Nick Pereira is the chef supreme for San Diego thus far with the way he's playing.
I'll tell you what, I mean, even the foul he just drew right there, just a pullback little flick over the top to scoop out amongst two defenders, one of which was not Berto Palmer at the time. So, you know, that was an interesting situation for them. But I'm looking forward to that battle, as you mentioned in the pregame. You know, Berto and Nick, if that's the case, I mean, that's the case it'd be for me.
Stinson bombs it just above the crossbar. Justin Stinson, who's got 12 goals, 12 assists in his own right this season, heads it right back to his keeper, Orozco. Seeing two of the youngest and most talented players in the Major Arena Soccer League. Justin Stinson, a longtime member of this organization. Orozco, at this point, several years within his MASL career, and not sure he's that many years separated from the time he was legally able to go out to the bars. Well, I didn't expect that much of a cackle out of you, but I appreciate it. I'll take it.
I just remember Brian as a rookie and the way he's going to get carded until he's 65.
I mean, you get to a point in your life where the Strikers almost get the steal. Counterattack opportunity. Morales leading the charge. He blasts it. The Strikers stand up tall. Ben Suddeth with the block. Another talented rookie that is at the disposal of head coach Onu Obasi. Morales gets his pocket pick, but threads it back through. Orozco uses the wall to his advantage.
That was well played by the rookie defensively, just holding that angle, addressing both Craig Childs on his right angle and the shooter.
Excellent ball movement by San Diego, just spreading things out, opening up the gap, and just enabling themselves to restart their offense very calm, cool, and casually. I've made this joke a time or two before. I wasn't a science major, but I know chemistry when I see it. Cardenas' shot off the wall. Recovered. Cardenas gets it back into Mendez. Over to Felipe Gonzalez. Felipe getting significant minutes after coming back from an injury that's plagued him a couple of years. Mendez against Gratterall. Fires it into Felipe. Strikers keeping Sandiego outside of that offensive third of the turf. No team really threatening thus far.
Very uncharacteristically pinned in, though, the Strikers are.
Pacheco, who started his career indoor playing for this organization, the Ontario Fury, now known as the Empire Strikers. There comes Pereira. Pereira into Pacheco. Pacheco, who just consistently gets better year after year. As that shot by Felipe headed from Palmer to Orozco. For a moment, there was a silence in the air, as that was a dangerous header back to the keeper.
Berto with that Caribbean chill, just playing it back under pressure. Gotta love it.
Diaz Gonzalez, our sideline reporter Amanda Filliman had a great interview with him. Diaz Gonzalez, Cuban international futsaler, and she's gonna figure out exactly why he chose futsal and soccer over baseball. And I mention that because baseball is a craze in Cuba. It's interesting that he chose that sport, but it's obviously worked out quite well for him. As we're halfway through this first quarter, both teams deadlocked at 0-0.
My heart goes out to Walter with the tragedy of his young player passing this recently. It's amazing that he's out there and what he did for the family today in the organization. Unfortunately, I know the graciousness of the organization and league all too well in those situations, but excellent for him to be out there and give a little bit of joy to the parents for the joy of the game.
Yes, a young man that he coached during his coaching career over the offseason. The young man who Artie was referring to died of cardiac arrest at the tender young age of 12 years old. So our heart goes out to him and his family. We see Marco Fabian passing it into Gratterall. Gratterall tries to go to Chavez and denied by Chris Toth.
Well, there's the tempo that the Strikers need to go at. If they let Sandiego get organized defensively, get behind the ball, it's going to be increasingly more difficult. And the Strikers have put points on their, put numbers on the board with the counter speed. So that was a good situation. See more of that from them.
Chris Toth wearing the number 1. That is a number that was taken out of the retirement category, as Chris's father, the legendary Zoltan Toth, wore that number during his career playing for Sandiego. The Toth name carries a lot of weight in the indoor game historically, and it's nice to see the number 1 back out onto the turf. And shout out to the Toth family tuning into this broadcast, by the way. Nothing but respect for each and every one of you. Toth, also a member of the United States national beach soccer team at one point, along with his teammate, number 77, Nick Pereira, who is the captain of that team. We see rookie of the Strikers, Ali Somo, who comes in from upstate New York, the Utica area to be precise. Shalir, who the Strikers brought on from Utica recently, turns and fires it, bangs it off of the Strikers dasher board, but collected back by Andy Reyes and back over to Somo. Now, normally these two teams really like to light up the lamps, but so far, just getting a feel for one another.
Starting to get in a little playoff football mode. Mistakes even more.
Diaz puts on the brakes. Look at the fancy footwork as he still hangs on to it. Had a tug of the jersey by Mendez as Seba looks over at the official Servando Berno asking, what did I do? I mean, we saw it with our own eyes. So right by the yellow line, Strikers have an opportunity here. Now, it's important to note that number 10 on the Empire, Justin Stinson, is 1 point away of passing Frank Tayu for the most points in franchise history, as Diaz's shot overcooked and into the netting. But I'll finish that thought when we come back from the media timeout break. With 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, both teams are knotted up at a goose egg apiece, but stick around. Still so much more action to be had here under the bright lights of Toyota Arena. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League. Back in a moment.
I'm so excited.
Buenos dias.
We are bred to be storytellers.
Welcome to Inland Edition Conversations, working to make the Inland Empire a better place.
Welcome to the Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Centre, where convenience meets comfort. Just 5 minutes from Ontario Airport and only 30 seconds from Toyota Arena, we are right in the heart of the IE and home to your Empire Strikers watch parties. Whether you're traveling, catching a game, or hosting your next, we have everything you need, from a full snack bar and pool to real-time flight tracking and flexible event spaces for groups of all sizes. Trusted by teams, fans, and the community, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Centre is proud to be the Empire's most trusted hotel.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and Soccer Signal has more on the tactical side of the MASL. Staff writer Joseph Reyna and veteran coach Mark Litton explain the game with perspectives from both sides of the glass with data analysis, breakdowns, and interviews from coaches around the league. Soccer Signal is shown every other Thursday on MASL TV. Folks, just to finish the thought I had, Justin Stinson is on a big watch. 1 assist makes him the all-time franchise leader in 2 categories. All-time leader in assists, passing the legendary Charlie Gonzalez, who is now a member of the Sandiego Sockers. But anything other than an assist puts him above Frank Tayu, another legendary player who we referred to earlier, the all-time leading scorer in the MASL and the Strikers franchise leader in points. So we are on Stinson watch today. And another stat to keep an eye on, Ben Sudduth, the rookie of the Empire Strikers, wearing the number 16, 3 crucial blocks in the first 8-9 minutes of the first quarter.
Energized play thus far. And like I said on that counter, adjusting 2 players on the 2v1, very good job.
Yes, Sudduth, a rookie, born in South Korea but grew up in Illinois, started his indoor career playing with the Chicago Mustangs of M2 and, well, collegially at Chicago State and Northern Illinois before playing a brief period in USL League 2. There's that battle we talked about, Pereira and Palmer, but things open up as the pass comes into Morales. Morales in that corner, battling against the aforementioned Sudduth. Taken away by Palmer. Palmer, a multi-time defensive player of the year, and actually recently defensive player of the week in the MASL, connects in with Stinson. We gave him the nickname the Stinger because of what he does to opposing teams' defenses.
That was great defending again from Sudduth. Just, you know, you call it high-low, where Sudduth had the low boards, just stop Pereira's movement, and then the double team comes in to win the ball and drew the foul. Actually, it was Morales. But very good high-low defending there.
That one gets ripped away from Diaz-Gonzalez by Adrian Reyes as that one goes right into the crowd. And no, that is not something you can keep. Although the relationship that we have with Miter, perhaps something to think about down the road. Wouldn't it be nice to get a Miter soccer ball the same way baseball fans take out a foul ball or something that goes out of the stands? Perhaps not the thing I'd want to suggest to the powers that be, but hey, one can dream, of course.
I'm pretty sure a baseball is significantly less on the budget than a Miter game ball.
I was, you know, the average life expectancy of a Major League Baseball, I think, is around 3 pitches. Unless that's changed in this modern era, I don't know. But at some point, it was just 3 pitches.
And those umpires got to, like, mud treat that thing before the game, too, huh?
Oh, of course.
They're almost said something.
That ball batters itself off of the wall and into Chris Toth.
So Sandiego came out, sorry, Philly. Sandiego came out, kind of came some possession, but now you kind of see the Strikers have got a little bit of possession. The game's kind of turned just a little bit. See how it goes here.
Excellent pass in. Sandiego on the counter, bashed it off the wall, poked by Somo into Alan Perez. Perez has done some amazing things this season at Empire. Continues to develop his game. At this point, he's been a veteran of the league. I mean, you and I have been calling games and been around this team so long that sometimes you still think of Alan Perez as being youthful in the early parts of his career, but 9 goals, 7 assists, 16 points. He's having a banner year.
Indeed, just hard work. You know, I remember just as a rookie, you know, when he was carrying the bags all the way through the Mexican airports when we traveled.
Gosh,
you know
I remember that. I had gout during that era.
Feel like climbing a ladder with a flip-flop.
Oh, yeah, that going back to our trips to Chihuahua, Mexico. Those are good memories, Artie.
Very good, those that I can remember.
We'll leave it at that. See Marco Fabian looking at the officials, wondering why the infraction. Fabian, the legendary Mexican international who featured with El Tri in the World Cup on numerous occasions. Also a legendary player in Liga MX, playing for Chivas de Guadalajara. And I know they love him in the Bundesliga, in particular in the city of Frankfurt, as he helped the team win the Deutsche Pokal in 2019. Eintracht Frankfurt, not a team that's known for winning significant trophies, but when they do, they remember their own. Fabian scored a scorcher against Borussia Dortmund. And since he's come to the indoor game, he's had himself a heck of a career. Little on the quiet side this season, but in his first year, he put the league on notice as he was the co-Golden Boot winner, along with then Kansas City's Zach Reggett. Minute 33 remaining here in the first quarter. Both teams trying to find some offense as whistle gets blown. I mentioned the love-hate relationship between these two teams. When you square off against a franchise on 62 occasions, you're going to see some incidences, and when you play each other 6 times, you might get some black and blues thrown at one another.
You have that competitive edge that Felipe and Berto have in the battles. You know, they have long memories.
Orozco tries to find Stinson with some space. Almost threads it through in that upper corner. We're looking for that point from Stinson. Stinson knows exactly where he stands with the franchise in terms of points, possibly putting some extra pressure on himself. Stinson, a perfectionist here at this point in his career. Under 60 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. What you just saw seconds ago is the striker's best attempt at Chris Toth.
You also saw a great jump from Polo on that counter that Chris threw out and had a 2v1. He jumped the pass and eliminated that threat. That would have been a very big error.
Soma with some space. That one gets blasted through on a couple of occasions. Steven Chavez was the last player. The header from Hernandez into Reyes. Back over to Stinson. Stinson's going to fire it, and that's going to take a bounce off of Morales. Strikers are going to have another opportunity here with 28.7 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Getting close to Alan Perez time, huh, Philly?
AP 20. It's
got to get down to about 16 and below.
What my broadcast partner says is Alan Perez has been known to score with the game clock set to expire. He's not on the turf, though.
That's what I'm saying. You got to wait to 16 before he's really dangerous. He's generating some ooze.
Stinson to Fabian. Fabian. Orozco overcooked it a little bit. Serra into Felipe. Gratterall standing tall as Felipe extends it to Fabian, taken by Serra. Serra's gonna kick it high and off the wall. 10 seconds. Striker still with a chance to boot one more. Fabian is gonna go to Gratterall. And Dutra's just gonna hang on it as the first quarter is in the books. No surprises, both teams are still neck and neck with each other. 0-0 after 15. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, we got some second quarter action for you live from Toyota Arena here in Ontario, California. This is the MASL on KVCR PBS.
When your heart needs a helping hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges, and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. Here for life.
MASL Monday is shown every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bastiabansky and Phil Labonco are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics.
Loma Linda University Health and the Inland Empire Strikers.
Como podemos ver, tenemos el entrenador ahí excitando ahí el equipo y tratando de caer con una estrategia donde ellos puedan arrancar adelante con las puntuaciones. Y como saben, los strikers se ven tranquilos y de un momento a otro se abrotan y cogen un viaje punto uno atrás del otro. Vamos a ver si eso es lo que va a pasar aquí en este día de hoy, en este evento. Vamos a ver, mi gente, vamos a ver. Pero no están jugando con gente suave tampoco, porque Sandiego Sockers son un tremendo equipo también, mi gente.
Played defensively because 3-2 in terms of shots in the first quarter, not a whole heck of a lot.
Playoff footy indeed. You know, defending wins championships, so they're making sure that, you know, nothing silly's done in the back, and they've just got to eliminate the simple mistakes, because this time of year those mistakes prove critical and can send you home early.
The last time these two teams met was that front wave, where the Strikers would win in overtime, courtesy of a goal by Munir Alami, by a score of 5-4. And that harkens back to the first game of the season, where the Strikers also won in overtime 5-4, courtesy of a goal by Munir Alami. And you'd have to wonder if the Strikers are suffering not having their Moroccan international on the turf. But excellent defense by Ben Sudduth leads to a counter by Empire. Perez just above the crossbar as he ran the counter with London's very own Abdul Mansoureh. And there's Perez once again making the defensive play. Sudduth defensively playing one of his best games we've seen thus far in his young indoor soccer career here in the MASL.
Yeah, he made his first error right there. He got twisted high by veteran Ruggles, so had to resort to the foul. But I mean, a good foul because he got twisted.
He fouled the MASL's leader in penalty minutes. Ruggles, 12th year in the MASL, 3rd year in San Diego. I spoke with him earlier. I know his cat just passed away recently, and being a cat dad of 3 broke my heart. I had to say that as the shot goes in by Morales, and San Diego strikes first. Luis Morales buries it from turf to twine, beating Brian Orozco. San Diego 1, Empire 0.
Y gol, mi gente, gol. San Diego acaba de anotarse y ser el primer equipo en la pizarra. Gol, mi gente, mira cómo están celebrando esa gente ahí. Y los fanáticos de este equipo están disfrutando y gozándosela. Ya ustedes saben, mi gente, lo están viendo aquí en vivo, directo, con JuanSabeloTodoDeporte y totalmente de gratis, mi gente.
Having just recently signed a 5-year deal as the Strikers turn it over once again, and another shot saved by Orozco. That's going to come into Gonzalez. Bebe Gonzalez recently had one of his best games playing indoor soccer recently. Bebe, the brother of Charlie Gonzalez, but Bebe, a baller within his own right. Pacheco, we call him Sweet Pea here in the Empire. A talented young man, comes in from the Baltimore Blast, having spent a couple of seasons in the Northeast, now a member of San Diego. I know that Pacheco is happy to be home, hailing from the San Fernando Valley. And San Diego gets to restart. Morales, for lack of a better term, an absolute gangster when it comes to slotting in a miter ball in the back of the net.
This is a veteran foul here. Just look at it, you see. you saw Nick just kind of lunge in and sell that reaction.
Childs, San Diego's very talented talisman, on that restart. He's got Pereira opposite side. You just tap the minds of those two players alone, you'll have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the indoor game. If there's anything I'd suggest from the two of them when their careers come to an end, is to write a book. Mendes, Seba Mendes, plenty of time before he gets to write a book. And the shot by Childs denied by Orozco. Childs, in his 15th game of the season, already has 6 goals and 7 assists for 13 points. Making his farewell tour. What a career he's had. We've talked about the Ian Bennett's and the Frank Tayus, but they don't belong on that Mount Rushmore without Craig Childs, whose career extends quite a while.
And that was an excellent exhibition of technique as Childs has hit that his opposite foot outside the left foot. That ball's on frame if Brian doesn't make the save. But he was just, that was the only situation that he was
taken by Sudeth. The miss. Apologies, Artie. That was almost a highlight reel. Sudeth overcooks it as the strikers had a valiant effort to create the equalizer. Shalir, Cuban international futsaler. Along with Walter Diaz, by the way, they have a history with one another. Got to strike while the iron's hot. Momo Guy, and that's going to be a foul on Brian Orozco. Held back up to the turf by his old teammate, Mustafa Guy. Momo Guy, who recently celebrated his first goal with Sandiego just recently. Mustafa Guy, a beloved figure here in the Inland Empire. Got one of the greatest smiles, by the way, should I say, in the MASL. So happy to be playing in the indoor game, and I'm happy to see his success. I love Mustafa Guy, and there we see the play. I know Brian Orozco's not going to be loving his former teammate in Momo Guy.
Yeah, I mean, we've had dueling mistakes. That's, you know, the start of this quarter with the error.
And with that error, though, a huge play, Artie, as Brian Orozco is in the box. So power play opportunity here. Explain that to our viewers tuning in at home.
Well, right now there's a
power play against Empire. The result is also a shootout, though.
Yeah, so the discussion there, Berto's kind of saying that there was no clear path to goal. Because the foul occurred and there was a clear path to goal, the Sockers are awarded a shootout. So now Craig has 5 seconds to go against Brandon to score the goal. It doesn't have to score on the first chance.
Lo que pueden ver que pasó ahí fue que le bloquearon el camino a los Sockers, entonces a no tener ningún sitio para poder moverse porque le bloquearon el camino, entonces por eso le dieron el free throw a los Sockers. Por eso ustedes están viendo esta posición ahora donde están los Sockers tirando directamente al gol y por ese foul. Ese foul fue contra los Strikers y al favor de los Sandiego
Sockers. Brandon Gomez. Gomez very talented, but not a lot of time to warm up with Orozco going into the penalty box. Here we go. Childs with space, booted away. Another opportunity. Brandon Gomez denying El Capitan de Sandiego, Craig Childs. What a defensive play.
So that's part one of the process. Brandon coming in. You know, he was coming in cold, but I can tell you when you look up and you see Craig Childs at the yellow line with the ball going 1v1, your heart rate's going pretty quick. So he warms up pretty fast. So now the Sockers have a power play, and so that's part two of this process. So strikers still on the hook for this, you know, to keep them out. But step one taken care of by Brandon.
But also to note that the power play continues. So Sandiego has the man advantage, and this is a team that's converted on 30% of their power plays. But the Empire, very strategic in the penalty kill as they've denied the opposing teams at an 80% rate. We'll see if Sandiego can capitalize here. Excellent goalkeeping by Brandon Gomez. Gomez has gotten a lot of shifts with Brian Orozco in, and neither did Clayson DeLima, who got traded to Tacoma as that pass comes into Palmer. But what an embarrassment of riches that these strikers have between Gomez and Orozco, as that's a foul whistle against Pereira on Palmer.
Yeah, they've got some specialists there, but with Nick running the point, you kind of saw the Achilles heel to that. If they do get caught on the counter, you know, Nick's not as fleet as foot as he once was, and, you know, he got caught up, I believe, against Tacoma in that same situation. So now the strikers can kind of milk some clock and take care of part two of the foul from O'Brien.
And Alan Perez on the turf. Alan Perez has the most short-handed goals of any player in the MASL. So, very capable of scoring when the Strikers are down a player. Mendez scoots past. Another save by Gomez. 3 crucial saves for BG1.
Y intentan los Sockers entrar ahí, como vieron, bien bloqueado con el goalie. El goalie hizo su trabajo ahí, mueven otra vez, están del lado de los Strikers por entrar la bola al gol. Vamos a ver si tiene éxito. Y no, nada. Fue bloqueado por un equipo. Se está poniendo bueno esto. Ya estos jugadores han calentado en este día, mi gente. Han calentado.
Look at that excellent save by Brandon Gomez. Gomez enriched his pockets over the summer playing at the TST tournament in Cary, North Carolina, where he was part of Bumpy Pitch, a team that won the TST, and that's a small-sided 7v7 tournament where the winning team gets $1 million. Gomez, a huge part of that team, is Mansour's shot. Tried to scoop it past Chris Toth. Toth says otherwise. Mansour applying pressure.
Y los Strikers intentan empatar el juego, pero no tuvieron éxito. Como podemos ver, la bola ya está del otro lado del... ¡Ay! Y casi fue cerca eso. Y otro intento de nuevo y fallan, mi gente.
And the Strikers are going to successfully complete this penalty kill.
So Strikers are on full strength, but Brian's still in the penalty box because it came through the run of play.
But there are 5 players on the turf. Correct. As Ali Somo comes in off the bench. Shalier chips it past. Shalier oh so close to fighting the gates. The pearly gates opened. Just cannot do it. And between Shalier's attempt and Sudeth's, doesn't get any closer than that for the Strikers to find one in. The soccer gods blessing Sandiego so far. Empire's had a couple of valiant efforts, just they haven't been able to complete and finish.
Knocking on soccer's door.
When I hear that, in my ears I hear Axl Rose, but obviously there's been plenty of people that have sung that tune. Looking to sing a tune today here is Fabian as he goes in Hernandez. Hernandez into Graterol. Graterol out of Venezuela finds Somo. Ali. Toth with the pause as that one ricochets off his mittens and into the net. It's going to be a corner kick restart for the Strikers. As Gomez is looking ahead to the bench and Orozco's looking to come back in. Orozco looking to be a part of the defense. Not sure if Sandiego is aware of Orozco coming out of the bin of sin. 8:39 remaining here. And that one comes off of the post. Diaz-Gonzalez. He's had himself some success playing against Sandiego. Particularly last season, if I'm not mistaken, in the 3 games that he played, scored 3 goals, and I think it was all against Sandiego. Fabian. No stranger to anybody in the world of global football. Connects back in with Orozco, who collected himself a nice, well, call it a 5-minute breather with the amount of time he spent in the box.
Yeah.
And not 5 minutes as far as game clock is concerned. Hernandez trying to find the big target forward, Shalier, as that sails above both he and Cesar Cerda's head. Cerda here in his 10th season in the MASL, sprinting past Shalier. Connects in with Mendez. Mendez already 5 years in the MASL as the officials blow a whistle. It's going to be Strikers' ball here with 7:50 remaining in the half. Andy Reyes into Steven Chavez. Reyes a longtime player here in the Major Arena Soccer League. 10 years. Look at the play by Orozco using the wall to his favor, and that's going to be a foul against Gonzalez. The beauty of indoor soccer is you get to use the wall as your friend, something you don't have as an advantage in the wonderful game of futsal. Stinson's shot, denied. Ruggles pokes it away as Hernandez tried to make something happen, and that's going to be a foul going against Sandiego as Stinson hits the deck.
That's 2 quick fouls on Mendez.
And that listing is important because there is a ruling in terms of the number of fouls you can have in a half. Is that right?
Correct, there's 4. So,
or that you're talking about a quarter, yes.
In the half, it's 4.
Soma caught in a soccer sandwich. Deflects to Fabian. Fabian, who kicks it into the netting.
Little confusion on who the matchup was right there. And certainly Coach Salvagio doesn't want Marco Fabian free with that right peg at the top of the yellow.
No, ask any player in this league who's got one of the scariest, most devastating shots, and it's Marco Fabian. Folks, we're going to head into another break here. It's immediate timeout with 7:12 remaining. Strikers down against the Sockers by a score of 1-0.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast shares powerful stories from people like NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Gabrielle Walsh, star of NBC's hit show Bound. You'll learn all about mindset and what it takes to navigate, overcome, and persevere through any challenges that life puts in front of you. If you're ready to be inspired, subscribe to the Finding Your Inspiration podcast.
Funding for this program is presented by MGR Real Estate, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, residential and commercial property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate Services, proud sponsor of the Empire Strikers. We would like to thank our official hotel sponsor, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, a Hyatt affiliate hotel, located 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport and 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Center.
An assist from Drew Ruggles to Luis Morales 65 seconds into the start of the second quarter is the only offense that we've seen thus far. Sandiego has been comfortable here in Toyota Arena, though, outshooting the Strikers by a margin of 9-5. Usually what we've seen in the past in many of the Empire's games is that they regularly outshoot their opponents because they regularly control possession. But Sandiego, with this game plan, is coming out of the gates very strategic and very efficient.
Yeah, Sandiego had much of the possession early on, as I indicated, and the game kind of shifted. And in the first part of the second quarter here, the game's kind of gone up and back, with the goalkeepers kind of making a couple of errors on each side. So it's going to be interesting what they said at the halftime to settle this down.
And speaking of goalkeepers, the Strikers do make a change as Brandon Gomez is now back onto the turf for Brian Orozco. Strikers like to cycle in between their 2 talented keepers. As that pass comes into Chavez. Chavez here in his first season in Southern California, coming in from the Texas Outlaws. 4th year in the MASL. Chavez, product out of El Paso, Texas. Got to call one of his games over the summer at TST, playing for Villarreal. Diaz-Gonzalez in the Palmer. Palmer, one of the scariest and most efficient defenders of the indoor game. Now the captain of the Empire Strikers, taking the armband away from legendary Strikers player Israel Cisse, who at the tender young age of 17 began his career playing with the LA Galaxy, sharing a locker next to David Beckham. Hard to believe that Cisse is no longer playing indoor soccer.
Yeah, I miss Cisse.
Just had that infectious smile and personality.
Just his personality was awesome, and, you know, he just, all the way to the very end, he was looking to learn and get better. Just a very, very great example of being a pro.
Stinson as that wallop pass almost finds its way into Chavez. Guy over to his left, striking in. The pass off the wall, a missed opportunity by Felipe Gonzalez. An excellent pass in from Estrella, who almost had a rock star of a distribution as Felipe nukes it. And that pass goes right into the public address box, currently the home of Strikers sideline reporter Amanda the Panda Filament. Top of the arc restart here, and you look at the firepower that Sandiego throws onto the turf. Bunch of bad men there. As Morales, the only goal scorer of this game, has Pereira, Childs to his left. You can just feel how aggressive that attempt from Childs was.
I mean, he's in his final season, and you saw his expression after the fact. He was like 9 years old again, missing that shot. Awesome.
Serra. That Plexi's going to have to get analyzed at halftime with the amount of missiles that it sustained. Ruggles into Mendez with Dutra. Dutra, a rookie who played for Strikers head coach Onuobasi at this TST tournament. We mention it a lot because Onuobasi of the Empire Strikers has utilized that tournament as a nice scouting ground to bring in talent. Gomez elevates it over to Toth. Toth is going to fire it in. He sees Mendez and Serra. Through ball into Serra. Serra, look at the play by Dutra. Dutra standing at 6'4", the Brazilian who grew up in Connecticut. It's really been a comfortable fixture defensively for the Empire.
Yeah, he's come on very well. I mean, that was an excellent wrong foot tackle he did there. Just well played.
There we see him defensively again. The through ball in from Ruggles. Thought he had Pacheco, but Sudeth. Sudeth, a fine pass to Shalir, who's got Perez. Taken away by Sandiego. Pacheco. Shalir closes in on him. No whistle, as we thought there would have been a foul. Sudeth into Dutra. Dutra resets the offense, or resets both teams, as we have a line change. For those that are tuning into this sport, there are a lot of rules fairly similar to that of ice hockey. It's a beautiful sport, indoor soccer. A long, illustrious history. Felipe into the right side. Nilton DeAndrade wearing the number 5. And it took me a second to realize who was wearing number 5, because that wasn't on our roster. And until the turnaround, I finally got a good look at DeAndrade, who came in from Utica City. DeAndrade had his finest performance against the Strikers, 2 goals, 2 assists in the last appearance that he had here.
He's twisted 3 guys thus far and just missed on the finishing product. But yeah, if he gets dueling well, it's going to be trouble for the Strikers.
Yeah, when you're elevated as high as we are in this building, sometimes it's a little hard to see the talent that's on the turf. We have a great vantage point, but it did take me a second to realize that Nilton DeAndrade is wearing the number 5. DeAndrade, just a welcome addition. Such a fantastic player. I think he took offense to what we said in the game against Utica City FC. Didn't realize he was going to play in that game. At first glance, at a distance, I thought he was Gio Alves, and what happened as a result of that, he scored 2 goals, 2 assists against the Strikers.
I'll show you.
Yeah, 100%. Hearing chants of "Here we go Strikers" in the building. Surprised that we've only had 1 goal so far scored between these 2 teams. These are 2 squads that like to light up the lamp. Sandiego more consistently. Empire struggled in the beginning of the season, but really got their offense going. Pass from Hernandez. Polo to Marco. I've been kind of waiting on that one. Somo tried to find Chavez, but Toth intercepts. Palmer As the whistle gets blown by our official Servando Berna, we can see the disgust in Palmer's face.
Berno, I'm just stronger.
65 seconds remaining here in this half. Don't go anywhere after the horn blows, folks, because we're going to kick it to our sideline reporter, Amanda the Panda Philemon, and she's going to chat with Empire Strikers head coach Onuo Bassi. Stick around for that. Walla pass from Pereira, tried to find Morales. Under a minute to go. Strikers slide one through to Mansoray. Mansoray to Gratterall. Gratterall smashes it off the wall, headed by Pacheco into Morales, who finds a sprinting Gonzalez. But Palmer cleverly uses the wall.
Y hay mucha acción, mi gente, como pueden ver. Está bien caliente el jueguito este, está muy caliente.
In the MASL. Ran track and played soccer at Wilmington University in the great state of Delaware. 25 seconds to go. What a way to close out the half would it be for the Empire if Stinson can get that elusive point. That would make him the franchise leader. Palmer, 15 seconds to maneuver. Back over to Diaz-Gonzalez. Diaz-Gonzalez, the header, I believe that was Ruggles who caught his head on it. That's going to come out of
Sale la bola de afuera de la cancha.
5.7 seconds left. I don't know where the one came from. Probably looking to see if the Empire can find one as in a goal. 5.7 seconds remaining here. Restart. Somo has Stinson right by that yellow line. Mansoray and Palmer inside the box with Diaz-Gonzalez behind him. Is there going to be a bit of tomfoolery here? Yes, there is. Diaz-Gonzalez. That one comes off of a blockade. Back into the fan section. 1.4 seconds. Lot can happen in 1.4. We've seen Alan Perez do amazing things with 1.4 seconds remaining. At the very least, one more attempt is going to get fired. Will that one go to goal? Will it come off of a sea of blue, or will Toth make a save? There's Ninja Turtles behind him. What is it going to be? As Somo scoots it into the netting with 1/10 of a second left.
That was unlucky. I thought for sure that Walter was going to nick it to Justin because Pacheco tucked in.
And so we are going to stand by here as Amanda the Panda Philemon, our sideline correspondent, is going to have a quick dialogue with head coach Onuo Bassi. At one point when the stats, let's see if we could update them here, Sandiego had a 9-5 edge on Empire.
Gol, como pueden ver, otro gol por vía de Sandiego, otro gol.
Hey, dare I say a fury of a soccer storm here in the first half.
You know, I've said it multiple times already. You know,
le están dando super competencia San Diego a los Strikers en este día de hoy, como pueden ver ustedes. Está caliente este juego, hay muchas emociones. Y recuérdense de suscribirse para otros juegos igual y mejores que este de hoy.
Panda with head coach Obasi. We're going to kick it down to the turf. It's waiting on some cosmetics down on the turf, folks. So standing by. Folks, again, 11 shots to the Strikers. 7 is Sandiego. Strikers have closed the gap a bit. And we're going to hear coach's thoughts. All right. Confirmation. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I'm here with Coach Onuo Bassi. Rivalry matches, always high emotion, high physicality. What would you like to see from your team offensively in the second half to try to break down this Sandiego defense?
Yeah, we haven't been very good on the ball so far in the game. You know, that's got to change. Sandiego are a super talented team. I know they're missing a few big star players, but we just haven't kept the ball well enough. So, you know, if we're going to play a game where they attack and then we defend and we try and hit them on the counter, it's going to be difficult because they have a lot of quality. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just being being more secure with the ball. We've lost it in the build-up. We're lucky to have not been punished. Just for me, just poor decisions in the build-up is really. It could be worse for us, but right now, one goal game, you know, we got a lot to play for in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with the defense of this team, killing a power play and that amazing save by Brandon Gomez. How do you channel the second half, like defensive efforts, to stay as, I guess, motivated as they are to really thwart that offense of the Sandiego Sockers?
Yeah, the power kill was excellent. It's been excellent all year, but obviously today really good, and Brandon obviously making the double save. I think if you're going to defend long stretches, it's difficult for any team. So really the onus is on us to get the ball and make it a game where we have the ball and we wear on them, because right now they're wearing on us. So I think that's the big change. Of course, yeah, we defend hard, but we need the ball to prevent ourselves having to defend for long periods of time.
1-0 lead right now for the Sockers is nothing. Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, guys. Enjoy this halftime, guys. We'll see you on the backside of this for the second half.
Como sabemos, el juego está 2-1 ganando los Sockers, mi gente de San Diego, y estamos ahora en tiempo medio y ya ustedes saben, regreso después de estos anuncios, mi gente.
For 30 years, National Corps has been transforming lives, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strikers. Affordable, high-quality, secure housing. National Corps, home of the Empire Strikers.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, home-style favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise her 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Corps and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Corps and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Here inside the vault with another player interview, and today I am joined by Walter Diaz. Walter, thank you for being here today.
Thank you to you guys for inviting me.
Of course, I know how much you love these interviews, and I know you requested for us to do this again.
Yes. You know, I'm from Miami. I was playing with my friends once a week. One day, a friend invited me to play the futsal tournament in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
And at the beginning, I don't know, I have to pay everything to go there. I need to work, you know. And he was, hey, you have to go, you have to go. It's super fun. You're gonna meet a lot of good players, a lot of people there. It's fun. Let's go, let's go. It's Las Vegas, you know. And
of course.
at the last day, I called the coach and I said, okay, I'm going. Let me buy the tickets to go there. And yes, and when I went there, I was playing good, you know, it's futsal. I play futsal all my life, and I'm good in futsal. And so I think it was Shui and Paul, when Paul was the coach, Paul Wright, and they saw me playing over there. And yes, they after the first game they come to me, and Shui told me about the league, the indoor soccer, Empire Striker, and I was interested, you know. He gave my number. He took my number, and yeah, I say I'm interested. Just let me know. Send me the contract. Let me see, you know. And
Here you
after
are.
that, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, well, we're certainly thankful for that, because you're having a heck of a season. The last time we talked, it was your first MASL career hat trick. So far, 12 games, 12 points on the season. Why do you think you've been able to be so good and so productive offensively for this team?
Oh yeah, for sure. Indoor soccer is kind of similar to futsal. So we have in indoor we have one more player, but it's kind of similar, you know. Another thing is different is the ball is always inside the field, never go out, but it's very fast and all this thing. But I think the tactic is very, very similar to futsal, and for sure this helped me a lot to help this team, you know.
Of course, yeah, you've been amazing for this team. We're so happy that you are here with us, and I have no doubt that I'm going to be having some more interviews with you, probably even before the end of this season, because you're such an effective striker. So,
Thank you.
so yeah, save your words for then, because we're going to do this again, because I know you love this so much, and I love talking to you and getting to know you. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you to you guys.
Yeah, back to you guys.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strikers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
National Corps, proud to partner with your Empire Strikers. On the field, in the community, we defend the Empire. Sign up for our free soccer clinics and meet your favorite striker. Community, passion. This is your Empire.
Shoot! He scores!
How goes it, folks? This is MASL in 5, back for another week. Hope everyone is doing great. Things are heating up across the league, and there are some big matchups happening this weekend. I've only got 5 minutes to fill you in, so let's get to it.
But was just struggling for that consistent playing time, and he might have that here. Here's Kelvin. Oliveira fires and scores. How good is it to see Kelvin back and scoring for Utica? A stunner to start things off.
He's back. Well, only for one game, unfortunately, but Kelvin Oliveira, the Brazilian maestro who last season was one of the most dominant players SL had seen in recent history. He was back with Utica on Sunday for one day only due to his commitments in the Kings League, but wow, what a performance. We had a chance to talk to his Utica teammate, Joey Tavernese, on MASL Monday. He shared his thoughts on the return of the Mac.
Listen, the guy is just an absolute talent. Kelvin is just something else. And I think he showed that in the game yesterday. And I think there was a good buzz in the, in the arena, which maybe wasn't there, the first couple of games I was back for.
Kelvin put up 4 goals for UCFC and was named the game's first star. The problem was Milwaukee refused to lay down in this contest. They were behind 5-1 entering the fourth quarter of play. Ian Bennett, the legend, helping getting his team back on track right there, spurring a comeback. They reeled off 5 straight goals with a 6th attacker to win this one in overtime, 6-5, the final score. Okay, great weekend for Baltimore. Had St. Louis falling back to earth a bit. The squads facing off twice. On the 27th, Baltimore came back to top the ambush 5-4. And then on Sunday, almost a carbon copy of the first game, the Blast, again, rallying back to win by the exact same score, 5-4. Baltimore's back, baby. They have now won 5 straight contests. It was a quiet weekend, only 4 games total. San Diego hosting Tacoma on the 27th, and the Stars were eyeing an upset of this one as they raced out to the 2-0 early lead, but the Sockers squashed those hopes by flexing their offensive muscle. Nick Pereira, the pretty little header right there. He had a huge day for the home side as they ran away with this one in the end, taking it 11-5, and they are back in a tie for first place in the standings with St. Louis at 33 points apiece heading into this weekend's action. Your scoring leaders, Alex Sanchez continues to be on top with 40 points, followed closely by Rian Marquez, and then Super Mario Alvarez of Milwaukee with 35, Zach Reggett with 33, and Junior Pinal rounding out your top 5 with 32 points. And your Capelli the week, Jorge Navarrete in goal from Baltimore. Of course, Kelvin offensively from UCFC, and defensively another Blast player, Omar Silla. Let's take a look at Kelvin first. Yeah, we can't say enough about what he did in his only game back this season with 4 goals in the game against Milwaukee. He was named the game's first star. Omar Silla getting it done defensively and offensively in 2 games against St. Louis. That tally right there, part of a 3-point weekend to go with a blocked shot as well. And in goal, Jorge Navarrete making big stops, 18 saves with an .857 save percentage in Baltimore's win on Sunday. Plays of the week now.
To both the fans and the people in the booth, change Joey's Chiron.
Oh, wow. Off the bottom of the bar and in. What a strike.
Fired in and scored. It's tied. Max Ludwig.
Triple step over. Off the wall. Herrera's head is there to put it home and tie the match.
I mean, he's pretty much been doing nothing since the Ocean's 11 release.
Doing something there.
On to overtime, and that's the loss to the Milwaukee Wave. Every other game has been won
Inside,
in regulation.
Or pardon me, a kicking chance. He also had a chance that couldn't put on. Now he's got a chance, and there it is. Give him an inch. He'll take a goal.
For that consistent playing time, and he might have that here. Here's Kelvin. Oliveira fires and scores. How good is it to see Kelvin back?
Match for the Blast here is going to be a very similar lineup. Pereira! What a strike Strike upper 90.
For the Milwaukee Wave. Off the board, down in front. Wilkin, first save, second save, scored! It's ball game! He wins 6-5. It is the extra attacker, Ricardo Carvalho, with the game winner.
And that is going to wrap things up for this week. But just a reminder, all throughout the season, to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the MASL, be sure to check out the league's official social media outlets. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges, and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
I'm so excited.
Buenos dias.
We are bred to be storytellers.
Welcome to Inland Edition, conversations working to make the Inland Empire a better place.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, homestyle favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
And Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter for the latest news on the MASL. Game read broadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more are available on YouTube at MASL TV. You are looking at the snow-capped mountains here in Ontario, and not a live look as you saw some sunshine there, and as much as we'd love some sunshine at this hour of the day, there is no sunshine on the outside of the building. But the sun is here as we are taking a look at the halftime pie eating contest, and there you see on the left and the right, wearing the purple shirt, our statistician extraordinaire Jason Hernandez, taking on me wearing the Ninja Turtle costume to the left. It was however many slices of pepperoni pizza you can consume within the course of 3 minutes, and Jason and I were blessed enough to end in a tie.
Y dígame, mi gente, qué pisitas que se ven buenas las pisitas, ¿verdad que sí?
If you're wondering why I'm out of breath,
oye, denme un pedazo de pizza de eso a mí, denme un pedacito de pizza a mí. Y ha comenzado aquí la segunda mitad del juego, mi gente. Y vamos a ver cómo se desarrolla esto. Tenemos los Sockers ganando 2-1 a los Strikers, ya ustedes saben, contra los Strikers. Y la bola está en movimiento. Y el gol interrupciona ese intento.
20 years ago when I was in college at Indiana University and in the Phi Kappa Tau fraternity, maybe, just maybe that would have been a piece of cake. But nowadays, at the tender young age of 45, that might be the last time I get into a food eating contest. As Cardenas fires it off the wall, through ball and a goal! An ingenious through ball. Nick Pereira playing the role of Patsy, I guess you could say, as Seba Mendez fires it in, and the Sockers take a 2-0 lead.
It's a little bit of Wallace score action with some deception on a twist. It's an Olympic event. You can get the replay here and you kind of see it. So as they come through here, off the wall, psych, and thank you.
And Pereira didn't play Patsy, as you saw. He did get his boot on it, so he's going to get credit for the assist. Thought he made a dummy run there. Nevertheless, though, Strikers are down 2-0. That took the air out of the building momentarily, as we have a pretty good crowd on hand. The crowds at Toyota Arena have picked up quite nicely. I know the last time we were in this building, we had over 6,200 in attendance. Not sure what the numbers are today. Love to relay that info to you once we have it, but so far, the home crowd is seeing the away team leading. And speaking of the away crowd, a lot of Sockers fans in the crowd, as Sandiego not very far from Ontario, California. And yes, folks, there is an Ontario, California, and we are well aware that there's an Ontario, Canada as well. I believe there may be some rumor in the past where a indoor soccer team may or may not have erroneously booked a flight outside of the country many, many years ago, but a story lost in the lores of indoor soccer. Brandon Gomez still on the turf as goalkeeper for the Strikers. There we see him on the ball as he passes it to Ali Somo. Somo got off to a hot start to begin the season. 5 goals, 5 assists in 16 games now played. He, along with his brother Isak Somo, who's not in the lineup, come to Southern California by way of upstate New York, Utica City FC. And shout out to our friends tuning in from upstate New York.
This is where the Strikers miss Alami. This is like the perfect time all season where Alami would nick a goal, right? They got a little response goal.
Sockers haven't had an answer for him all season long. As we mentioned, Alami had scored in every single game against Sandiego this season. In only his second season in the MASL, he was a finalist for Newcomer of the Year. But I know he has a leg injury. He was on the probable report to start the day, but out of the lineup. Sockers, though, with several of their key members out as well. We do see former Empire Strikers head coach Paul Wright back in the building, sitting on the bench for Sandiego. Stinson finds Diaz Gonzalez. Back over to the Stinger out of St. Charles, Missouri. Had a great interview with him on a show that you need to keep an eye out for called Inside the Arena, where we talked about his entry into indoor soccer and his time as a kid training with the Academy of Football, West Ham United in England. And he had a nice 180-degree moment where he wore the Hammers of West Ham, the blue and the claret, at TST, where he was a member of that team along with his teammate Robert Palmer and Brian Orozco. As we see Palmer going into Gratterall, featured with 10-15 of the TST. Diaz Gonzalez skirts it in the Palmer. Strikers are looking to open up that defensive can that Sandiego's thrown at them. Into some traffic. Palmer was there, but Toth was in a better position. Taken away. Mansory. Stinson shot denied by Toth. And broken up by Estrella. Into DeAndrade. DeAndrade on the run. Saved by Gomez.
It's a great touch by Brandon. If he doesn't get that touch, the ball off the first panel to Momo running in high.
Momo is his nickname. Mustafa Guy is his other name. As Serra nukes it into the netting. It's going to be a goalkeeper restart here for the Strikers.
Got a little excited there, huh?
Feeling a bit too froggy. They jump from one lily pad to another. Strikers do gain the ball back, though.
That was a good matchup, Serra versus Stinson. I wonder if that's going to be the matchup the rest of the game, because Serra was kind of egging him on, making the challenge.
Felipe taken away by the Strikers. Palmer tries to spin past Mendez, went through the legs of Bebe Gonzalez. Bebe is his nickname. Jose is his first name. Fabian settling his Strikers crew down a little. Calling for it as he had a step ahead of Mendez, but Palmer opts to go back to Reyes. Fabian quiet here in this ball game. Last time we saw an offensive eruption out of him was back on February the 19th, where he put 2 past the Baltimore Blast in an unfortunate 5-4 loss for the Strikers. There you see him, got his boot on it,
Oh,
and it's going to be a top-of-the-arc restart. Mendez is saying it went off of Fabian. Fabian's saying otherwise. Servando Berna, the official on the floor, or on the turf, I should say, says no. Not top of the arc. Yeah, top of the arc.
Top of the arc, yeah. They do the Denny Terrio.
Well, coming back from having called 30 basketball games this season at the college level, sometimes you see that motion and you think traveling. Can the strikers travel their way into the back of the net? Stinson with the shuffle into Fabian. Ding, dong, ring-a-ling-a-ling off the crossbar.
Everybody's just striking the ball just below the midpoint, making that, creating that ball to fly. He's trying to be a little too fine.
Stinson chips it to Cardenas. Stinson gets it back. Strikers have had numbers for a moment. Stinson fires it, and Toth with his paws on it once again, denying his former teammate. The header to Shalier. Shalier trying to go back to Stinson. Stinson chests it in the air. A near bicycle attempt by Mansoret. He was trying to harness his inner Freddie Mercury, wanting to ride his bicycle, getting denied though.
Cardenas with the ill-advised top of the arc right there.
Stinson's got Shalier to the right. Mansoret in the box. Diaz-Gonzalez to the left. And the dangerous Fabian to the left. The shuffle. Diaz-Gonzalez. And Morales stands tall. Stinson. Felipe Gonzalez gets in the way. Ball into Fabian. Fabian tried to go to Shalier. Strikers trying to find their recently acquired target forward into the flow of the offense. Shalier coming with some nice numbers from Utica City FC, but still trying to find his scoring boots here in Southern California.
Felipe's throwing his body around, serving a bit of an enforcer, huh? It's like the third or fourth time he's put in an extra little.
Felipe's been a part of some wars, 10th year in the league. Mansoret into Fabian. Nilton DeAndrade with the defensive play as Pacheco gets tripped up by Mansoret. And Pacheco's still down on the turf. That's a tough kid from Northridge. He's not going to stay down there unless it hurts.
Yeah, he got a little twist on when he kind of cut through here. Right there. Yep, just kind of scraped it. Those hurt.
So we will not see Sandiego Sockers legendary trainer Paul Savage on the turf. So Pacheco back up on his feet. He's going to come off. Coming back on in his place, Adrian Reyes. So Será, Sockers' longtime defender. They're on the restart, but the officials are going to head over to the public address announcer real quick just to give us a
We have a
message.
delay of game warning against Empire. Thank you.
Delay of game warning for the Strikers, as we heard our public address announcer John Spire say, thanks, bro, to the official. All kinds of fun that you'll get in the Major Arena Soccer League. And again, thank you so much for tuning in here on this broadcast on KVCR PBS.
Well, that should have been, from John, that should have been a thanks, dude, for stay on theme for tonight, huh?
It is Ninja Turtle night after all, and I've got half a pizza pie swimming in my tummy right now. For better or for worse. Dutra kicks it out of the Strikers' defensive third of the field. Ruggles picks it back up. Toth to his teammate on the beach soccer side, Nick Pereira. Those two have played with the Tacoma Stars. They played on the United States national beach soccer team. Now members of the Sandiego Sockers looking for a ring. Look at the defense by Reyes, boxing out Será.
Position is everything. Reyes had inside shoulder the whole time. There's no chance for Será to get that without a foul.
So the Strikers are going to have possession here with 7:44 here in the third quarter. Next dead ball will take us to immediate timeout. Sandiego, the only one of these two teams scoring today, which has been a surprise considering how this series has gone this year. Stinson collects it back. Alan Perez into Diaz-Gonzalez. Threads it. That ball is loose, picked up by DeAndrade. Stinson tried to make a play on the ball. Tussle between Gonzalez and Hernandez. Quick restart. Perez had nowhere to go as he saw a sea of blue. Sandiego blue, that is. As he finds Stinson.
I like the idea, though. I mean, I think, Coach Obasi said a little bit at the halftime about, the pace of it. I really do think they got to get going. They got to pin the ears back and run a little bit more at Sandiego, not allow them to get all these numbers back and defend the yellow like this.
Would have loved to have heard that halftime speech, but I was en route for pizza, and I don't think I want pizza for a little while. And by the way, shout out to our pizza sponsor. Once I get confirmation as to who that was, let him know that was some excellent pizza. Stinson with DeAndrade. These two played together on the U.S. national indoor soccer team a couple of years ago. Diaz-Gonzalez with Cardenas. Cardenas, another shutdown defender who's normally tasked with marking the opposing team's best players. Showing tremendous amount of respect for Diaz-Gonzalez, who has had success against Sandiego in the past. Finds his way past. Cardenas recovers it, trying to serpentine his way in, but knocks over Felipe, and Sandiego's going to get the ball back.
Once again, Felipe just being physical, just putting his body there and, challenging the law of inertia here. There it is.
The law of inertia. I know you got your master's degree in the art of sports science. Sounds like something you would have wrote your dissertation on. What did you write your master's degree dissertation on, by the way, Artie?
It was within the field of sensory motor skill acquisition.
Wow. So I couldn't even spell that.
So just motor development with the underlying psychological influences. So it fit perfect into the coaching realm.
You just melted my brain with that statement. Must have been an incredibly well-written paper. You did it yourself, right?
Most of it.
You didn't use your friend Encyclopedia Britannica? Shot.
Great hit.
Goal! Seba Mendez off the rebound, puts the Sockers up 3-0.
Tenemos
you could just
gol,
hear, speaking of the loss of inertia,
mi gente, otro gol,
that he
mi
blasted
gente,
the miter and
llevándole el juego 3-0 al
al
favor de Sandiego, mi gente, gol.
Let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby. I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby. I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
For 30 years, National Corps has been transforming lives, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strikers. Affordable, high-quality, secure housing. National Corps, home of the Empire Strikers.
When your heart needs a helping hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
MASL Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Capelli Sport is the official uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at maslsoccer.com. With the 2 goals scored by Sebastian Mendez, he is now up to 13 on the season, becoming the Sockers' second leading scorer, just 1 goal behind Nick Pereira. It's been the Seba Mendez show here at Toyota Arena. Mendez, an exquisite talent here in indoor soccer. Strikers trying to find some offense. as they've been absolutely shut down by Sandiego all day long.
They just allowed Sandiego to kind of get back. So, you know, right here, the little 3-2 defending the yellow and fronting the target.
Mansoray tried to squeak it by, and that came off of Cardenas and Toth. Morales, a dangerous pass in, but somehow manages to get Sandiego out of trouble. They open things up. Morales with space to maneuver, connecting in with Pacheco. Pacheco's shot long and wide. It's going to come back to Morales. Trying to do a Texas two-step past the Strikers' defense. Fabian recovers it. Sudeth wielding his way in, but Será goes back over to Toth. Mendez just one goal away from the 14 that he scored last season. Mendez had 20 points last season. Nilton D'Andrade kicks it right into the legs of Felipe Dutra of the Empire. Fabian heads it into Chavez, who gets checked by Será. The beauty of the indoor game. Gesundheit, Artie.
Thank you. Yeah, Dutra, another well defended, you know, didn't bite on the shoulder dip from D'Andrade, because D'Andrade wanted to drop that shoulder, have Dutra take that slight right foot step and tuck it in that far stick, but he just held his own, and great job.
Now, for those tuning into this sport for the first time and seeing a 3-0 lead, that's not the biggest hill to climb. Seen teams that have been down 7-2 going into the fourth quarter and have come back and won. So if you think this game is in the books, that is not the case. Still so much more action to be had. A quarter and 3 minutes and 41 of this one. As Fabian gets fouled, Strikers have a restart here. Shalir is gonna head onto the turf for Empire on that far post with Ruggles. Toth makes the save. Diaz-Gonzalez, kick save by Toth. Toth is pitching a shutout today.
Strikers have had some good looks, good connections. Just, you know, Chris Toth coming up big, making the saves that he, you know, we're accustomed to watching him make. It's wealth of resources for the Sockers at the goalkeeper position.
Stinson sticks with it as Bebe Gonzalez is all over him. Stinson, one of the toughest midfielders to dispossess. It's as if that miter ball is yo-yo glued onto his foot. Gonzalez into Felipe, into D'Andrade. Taken back by the Strikers and then recovered again by Sandiego. Under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
That was close. Reyes was about to jump onto the floor, and the ball literally went under his feet to Felipe. If he would have jumped on, it would have been a 2-minute on Sandiego.
Strikers a little flat-footed here in the third quarter. However, though, leading in the shot category 6-4. One reason we're thinking flat-footed is because they haven't found any goals, as Chris Toth has really played an exceptional game. Chris Toth, along with his teammate Boris Pardo and the Tacoma Stars Danny Waltman, part of the 2K club, 3 legendary keepers in the indoor game.
Reyes has been fairly busy for the Sockers, been very effective.
There's Sudeth once again making a play. Perez finds Mansoray. Mansoray, the hesitation, as that one's going to come out of play. Strikers are going to have it as Palmer goes into Somo. I don't recall what the stat would be, but haven't remembered or presided over many broadcasts for the Empire where they haven't scored goals in the first 3 quarters of a contest. Might be a challenge for Jason Hernandez, our statistician, and I don't know whether or not he's going to accept the challenge, considering I did beat him in the pizza pie eating contest, but we'll see.
He's going to hold out.
Sure, he's feeling as heavy as I am after we both devoured nearly 5 slices of pizza in 3 minutes. No human being should do that again, by the way.
Tell you what, Sandiego should have been caught with too many on the field. Felipe came off late, just jumped off. Surprised the Strikers coaching staff didn't catch that.
Somo backheels it to Reyes, into Palmer. Palmer, who's one of the leaders on this team in assists. Perez finds Reyes. Ray is also a member of the National Futsal and Arena soccer team. That's a man who's had his passport stamped on numerous occasions. And whistle blown by Servando Berna. What do we have there, Coach?
I think they're just a reach around, trying to establish target. Just kind of tug the jersey. Yeah, we didn't get a look at it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Because anything off the ball is going to be that for the most part.
The pass somehow finds its way into Estrella. Look at the footwork by Sudeth. 2-on-1, Mansoure with space. Can this be it? Mansoure shot misses to the left.
Chris Toth making the save without touching the ball. Coming out, closing the angle, forcing that extra touch, got the recovery. Mansoure had a slight window to hit, just missed it, but well played by Chris Toth.
It's the third time that Chris Toth has altered the trajectory of a striker's shot without getting his hands on the ball. 37 seconds. I mean, with the attempts the strikers have had with the keeper outside of his box, it should be a tie game. But nevertheless, that's all philosophy as Diaz Gonzalez bounces it off. Bebe Gonzalez. Stinson finds Brandon Gomez.
San Diego's in the old school San Diego groove of defending and coming out organized. So strikers got to solve that problem. I would think with speed.
Stinson, speaking of speed, is going to have to hurry up. The shot comes from Gomez off of Gonzalez. Cardenas gets the last touch, and that's the third quarter. San Diego has shut out the strikers for 3 consecutive quarters, and they go into the final 15 minutes leading by a score of 3-0. With one more quarter left to go, it's going to be all hands on deck for the strikers. Or can the Sockers actually give a goose egg to the Empire? Still plenty more action to be had here under the bright lights at Toyota Arena. Back in a moment for the start of the fourth quarter.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information at septembers.com.
Are you looking for inspiration? The FYI podcast shares powerful stories from people like NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Gabrielle Walsh, star of NBC's hit show Bound. You'll learn all about mindset and what it takes to navigate, overcome, and persevere through any challenges that life puts in front of you. If you're ready to be inspired, subscribe to the Finding Your Inspiration podcast.
Follow MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter for the latest news on the MASL. MASL Monday is shown every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bosztymansky and Phil Levanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. Disagree with a call tonight? You might just see it on the MASL's Under Review with Phil Levanko and MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. Under Review is available Fridays on YouTube. Staff writer Joseph Reyna and veteran coach Mark Litton explain the game with perspectives from both sides of the glass in the MASL's newest show, Soccer Signal, with data analysis, breakdowns, and interviews from coaches around the league. Soccer Signal airs every other Thursday on MASL TV.
Hope Through Housing, empowering children and families in the Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. To learn more and see how Hope is making a difference, visit hopethroughhousing.org. San Antonio Regional Hospital is a proud sponsor of the Empire Strikers, keeping our community strong, healthy, and active for over 115 years. San Antonio Regional Hospital, here for life. Tonight, we would like to give a special thank you to GoCal, your official destination guide to the inlands. Discover the best of Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and the surrounding region, from top-tier dining and entertainment to family fun and outdoor adventure. GoCal showcases the best our region has to offer, whether you're new to the area or a local looking for something fresh. GoCal has you covered. Discover more at gocal.org. Strikers fans, you can collect stamps and autographs with the Strikers Passport. Soccer in 60 is your go-to source for pro soccer in Greater LA for all things LAFC, LA Galaxy, Angel City, Orange County SC, and Empire Strikers. Tune in live every Thursday at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490 AM, at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1270 AM, or anytime on the Empire Strikers YouTube or your favorite podcast player. Just search for Soccer in 60.
45 minutes in the books. 15 more to go. We were asking for history. History is writing itself as we speak. The Sockers have shut out the Strikers for 3 quarters. That is the first time that has happened this season. And the last and only time the Empire was shut out, they were called the Ontario Fury. Back on November the 19th, 27, Ontario was at Pechanga Arena against the Sockers, where San Diego won by a score of 8-0. And oh, by the way, it was Chris Toth with 16 saves in that game. Will history repeat itself? And the way it's looking so far, potentially. However, the Strikers did outshoot the Sockers by a margin of 7-4 in the third quarter. But without it being from turf to twine, once again, we're speaking philosophy, and a blue card issued by Servando Berna.
So,
we've got AI, our own AI, in that of our assistant coach, Artie Kyrell. Let's take a look at your insights. AI, what do we got?
From the Strikers, we're looking for them to attack with pace from the press, but they're not pressing as much, and they're not going as quickly, and we're seeing 0 goals in that regard. You know, effectively defend the target entries. They've had some good battles, and that hasn't been the issue, so they've been very good there. Dial in early tempo, exactly what San Diego did from the jump, just keeping the ball and kind of slowing down the juggernaut that the Strikers have been here. And then composure at the defending the yellow line, and again, just getting it back, being old school San Diego Sockers defensively. Just a quality effort.
Folks, there was a legendary catcher for the New York Yankees by the name of Yogi Berra, who had a saying called deja vu all over again. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the Empire Strikers got hit with a blue card for too many men. Tell me how many times you've heard that come from my mouth alone this season. Too many men has been something that has plagued the Strikers all season long, as Walter Diaz-Gonzalez is in the penalty box, and now San Diego really with some momentum and an opportunity to really blow this game open. Craig Childs misses wide to the right as Seba Mendez, on a hat trick watch, collects it back for San Diego.
Just slowing it down, looking for the quality.
There's a lot of quality on that turf. Pereira, Morales, Pacheco, Mendez, and Craig Childs.
I wouldn't anticipate anything other than a very, very open look or something for a tap in off the wall. Strikers have worked very hard But sometimes that hard work works against you, and you've seen that in 2 of the goals that have come off the wall and the over-rotation from the strikers, leading to the tap-in goals for the Sockers. So, Johan Cruyff trained my team one time, blessed for that. He said, don't work too hard, but don't work too less.
Was he smoking a cigarette at the time of telling you that?
He was not, but he jumped into an activity holding a clipboard and a soccer ball in each arm, playing in his flats, and absolutely crushed it. Every touch was immaculate.
Johan Cruyff has a stadium named after him. There's a certain team in Amsterdam known as Ajax. And obviously he did a lot of tremendous things with Barcelona and La Liga as that comes out of play.
He's the founder and mastermind of La Masia, which, as you know, is the lifestyle that I adhere to in my football coaching career.
You're just a fan of the siestas they have in Spain. I am too. Top.
Sorry.
No.
We're in sync.
Morales, chest save. Look at Orozco making some tremendous saves.
That's a save to look back to if the strikers get back into this, because that was 2 fantastic looks.
Could that be the momentum changer for Empire? Negative, as Craig Childs threads through the needle, beating not only the striker's keeper, but Robert Palmer. It is for Captain Sandiego Craig Childs in his going away tour. Scores potentially for the last time at Toyota Arena.
So great work from Brian here, as you see on the saves. And then on the over rotation, he goes in, he works hard, but then just left the gap, and Berto couldn't get there in time. And, you know, I said an open look or a tap in, and basically it was a Craig Childs combination of the 2 right there. Just simple technique, didn't fuss. He focused simply on the technique of scoring. He wasn't worried about scoring. There's a difference, you know, kind of going back to my schooling. My mom would be proud, but psychologically he's not putting any pressure on himself.
Fabian, kick saved by Toth. Ball into the box. So Childs, with that goal, also has an assist to Seba Mendes. Childs, 7 goals on the season, 8 assists now, up to 15 points. Him and Mendes have supercharged San Diego's offense as the strikers have Orozco off the turf. They're bringing in Steven Chavez wearing that extra attacker jersey. There we see it in red. You can pull the keeper like you do in hockey to add an extra attacker. Stinson into Somo. Somo hangs on to it, finds Diaz-Gonzalez.
So you saw right there, Philly, is what I'm talking about, right? Marco and Justin create that imbalance, and they went quickly onto that edge and then caught San Diego on the transition and moving their feet. So they're so organized. You've got to get them to move their feet to create the miss angles to score. If they just let them shift easy and simple like this, they just hold their shape and the windows go away.
Well, the window has been very foggy as the striker's windshield not very visible today. Chavez into Fabian. Fabian to Stinson. Talk about Barcelona and La Masia and Johan Cruyff. We're seeing a little bit of tiki-taka back and forth from the Empire. As Fabian finds Diaz-Gonzalez, puts on the brakes really quickly. Just see that, just the talent that Walter Diaz-Gonzalez has. I mean, I know we always tout Stinson. Fabian, look at the block denied by Reyes, Adrian Reyes.
This is a
Stinson right into DeAndrade.
This is a discussion me and Nordberg would have all the time. You know, he's an Arsenal fan, and so we talk about the tiki-taka. You know, when I use those activities in training, it's directional, and that's what the thing with Barcelona is. It's in their world, tiki-taka isn't just keeping the ball for no purpose. There's direction and there's actual intent.
Perez tried to slide it through to Shalier, but Toth ends up getting it. And by you mentioning Nordberg, for those not aware, Jimmy Nordberg, once the coach of the Ontario Fury, 2021 MASL Coach of the Year, and you've had the honor and privilege of being on the bench with him here in this building as members of the Ontario Fury, but you also work together in the SoCal club scene, no longer at Arsenal, but now at Legends.
Yes, indeed, a new gig. Looking forward to it. Going to go after some national championships there, Philly.
Well, we wish you all the best, and we know Jimmy Nordberg is listening, and we certainly love and miss you, Jimmy. Perez into Shalier. Perez finds some space, potentially. Almost collects. Reyes' shot. Another kick saved by Toth. Toth getting very close to recreating that record shutout that Sandiego had against the Strikers back in 2017. The keeper's still off the turf for Empire as Ruggles smashes it into Mendez. Mendez the chip, misses it off the post. And if you're wondering, yes, the player wearing the extra attacker jersey can handle the ball in the box.
You know, as you mentioned earlier, that jersey number is deservedly, all caps, retired for Sandiego, and Chris being able to wear it, and he's living that jersey large today, I'll tell you.
Stinson miss, and Fabian into the net. It's going to be a goalkeeper restart for Toth. Chris Toth got hurt early in the season. Boris Pardo took the lion's share starts for the Sockers. And of course, Boris Pardo, an incredible talent. Chris Toth, an incredible talent. An embarrassment of riches that Sandiego has for keepers. Same thing could be said about the Young Empires duo, but between Toth and Pardo, two brick walls of goalkeepers. And thus far, Toth, 8 minutes and 20 seconds away from a potential shutout, unless the Empire can string along a few passes to open things up and score a goal. I myself have been calling this team since 2021. I have never seen them get skunked. I have never seen them get skunked at home. I've seen them skunk the opposition at home. But what a statement this would be for Sandiego to not only even out the regular season series, but to shut out the Empire Strikers, a team that is hungry to keep their position in the postseason. Top 6, go to the playoffs. Strikers are hanging on by a thread. Stinson threads it into Fabian. Into Diaz-Gonzalez.
Strikers got to pick up the pace. They have to play like a team that's chasing points. You know, I mean, they're winning the series, but at the end of the day, Sockers are winning the point battle.
And Stinson's shot missed, but the ball corrals itself back. But Nilton D'Andrade comes up with it, runs right into Fabian, and Tarjeta Azul, a blue card, pulled out of the pocket of the official.
Yeah.
Problematic scenario.
Got a challenge there, Philly.
So explain the challenge flag to our audience. And again, to our audience tuning in on KVCR PBS, I'm getting a lot of text messages, by the way, from our friends down in Sandiego. It's very cool to see that they're catching this game on KVCR PBS. But explain to the viewers at home what the challenge flag means and what it indicates.
So the challenge flag means that the coach, Coach Obasi, has seen something that he felt the referees have missed, and so he is able to challenge that call, which will now be reviewed. If they
call it.
We lost the mic. Unfortunately, we lost the mic on the official. Not sure what it was, what exactly the challenge was for. So I mean, we saw the foul on Marco created the foul here, right? D'Andrade jumps it. It looks like he's going to cut. Oh. Okay, so they're trying to get an ordinary foul call here on Marco. This is a tough one because he takes that inside touch to go central to split the two defenders, which is what you want to do, especially if someone of his ability. My only question here, as far as, you know, just a regular foul if they run into each other. But looking here, you can kind of see Marco does dip that right shoulder just a tad right there, and hits him square flat in the center mast. So, you know, I think that's going to be a tough situation.
The decision on the field is confirmed.
Yeah.
Blue card.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough to get an ordinary foul when you dip that shoulder and you hit him right in the center of the chest plate. So, but you know, Strikers can't take this chance. They got to throw it. You know, if they Soccer score here, it's going to go 5-0, and you know that's the big thing right there. I mean, it's just have to.
All right, folks, we're going to send it to immediate timeout here with 7:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. Marco Fabian heads to the sin bin. We'll have a power play for Sandiego when we come back from the break.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Stay connected. Downloading the official Empire Strikers app. From score schedules to tickets and team updates, it's the easiest way to stay in the game. Download the Empire Strikers app by scanning the QR code and never miss a moment of the action.
And the action has been all San Diego today. 4 goals by the Sockers. Luis Morales with 1, Craig Charles with 1, Seba Mendez with 2. Your stars of this game already. Seba Mendez with 2 points, 2 goals, and Craig Charles with 1 goal, 1 assist. But the player that we need to keep shouting out today is Sockers goalkeeper Chris Toth, denying the Strikers on so many occasions. Coming out of that break, the shot total is even at 19 apiece. And unless the Strikers can find some goals, they'll have to end up taking shots at the conclusion of this game. As there's a foul on the turf, is Morales taking down Sudduth. We've been singing Sudduth's praises all game long. Defensively, I haven't seen this young rookie stand out more in any other contest than he did today against the elites of the MASL, the top team in the league, as we still have audio issues. You catch that, Coach?
I think a warning for San Diego for something.
Encroachment, I believe, is the term I heard.
Is that what it was? Yeah. So
the mic is, and we do apologize for the technical difficulties there on the turf, but nothing assessed, no cards, nothing of that nature, and it's still a power play for the Sockers. They have 63 seconds remaining in it.
Well, find it difficult to believe, but Mendez was finding it was not quite honoring the referee's initial ask to drop off. He's a fiery little player, isn't he?
That he is. He plays with a lot of passion, a lot of pride, as does this entire Sockers team. And passion and pride is what the Strikers are looking to connect with today, trying to avoid getting shut out at home. This is the 6th meeting between these two teams this season, the 62nd all-time historically. The Strikers have won 3 of the games this year, the Sockers 2. But we mentioned how talented this team is, but they have the best road record. And one thing to take a note, with all the time that these two teams have had in between games, you'd have to wonder rust versus rest, whether or not that's a factor today.
I don't think it's a factor. I think it's just the way that they're playing. San Diego's, like I've said a couple of times already, you know, it's old school San Diego. They're disciplined, they're committed, they're organized. You know, and we saw it earlier on, you know, the defending 5 and just shifting, as I was, you know, saying that Empire has to go quickly. They've just taken the tempo, you know, from one of my insights. They've taken the tempo and says, we're going to play San Diego footy tonight. And that's what they've done. And Empire needs to, you know, the energy they're putting forth in this power kill to get that time, you know, they need to do that on the attack. You know, they've got to create the isolations. When they go 6, they got to create isolations. They got to create the numbers, and they've got to get them reacting and shifting for the better looks at the goal. If you let them organize, you know, that's why they're champions for so many times, man. You know, you can't let them do what they want to do.
So that's going to send us to, well, not necessarily, it's not an immediate timeout. There's a timeout on the turf, but we got some bills to pay, don't we?
We certainly do. The official Empire Strikers team store, from jerseys and hats to the latest team gear. Everything you need to represent your favorite team is now available. Visit the team store online for more information. Stay connected with the Empire Strikers all season long by following the team on social media. Get the latest news, behind-the-scenes content, highlights, and updates all in one place. Follow the Empire Strikers on social media and stay part of the action. And please join us Thursday, March 2nd at 6:35 p.m. as the Empire Strikers face the newly revamped Tacoma Stars here at Toyota Arena.
That'll be an interesting contest. The return of Frank Tayu, Uzi Tayu, and Clayson DeLima, 3 players that have had tremendous success and were part of that Strikers Ron Newman Cup run to the finals in 2021. Tacoma still struggling, looking for a road win, and it'll be interesting to see how the crowd here at Toyota Arena welcomes back the Tayus and DeLima.
You know, it's turning, with this result, if it holds, it's turning into a 2-horse race for that last spot, and that's going to be the Empire Strikers and Tacoma Stars. Coming into tonight with the number of games remaining, the top points that both teams could get, ironically, is 31. So if Strikers don't prevail here, then their highest number to hit is 28, and the games are going away. So got to see a quick change here from the Strikers. Although numbers down, they've got to step up and try to get a shorthanded goal here.
Childs into Morales, and you have to go back to the game that the Empire lost 5-4 against Baltimore, and then the tough one against Utica City. Pacheco in space. Just misses. Morales into Pereira. Taken away by Alan Perez. AP 20. That comes, looked like it was going to come out of play. Dutra cleans things up. Mendez keeps it in play. Childs heads it. Tries to find Pereira. Taken away by Reyes. That ball comes back over to Toth.
Greg Childs coming off a little hobbling. That's concerning a little bit.
That is very concerning. Yes, he is sitting down, being tended to by Paul Savage, Sockers trainer.
Coming off on a power play. You know, Craig Childs does not want to come off.
And there we see on the opposite side, we had our focus in on Craig Childs, but on the other end, Stinson hits the deck.
Yeah, Mendez caught him across the face, so they're going to probably get him for a blue.
Blue card, Sandiego, number 13.
Yep.
Contact above the shoulder.
Yep.
Power play, 2 minutes.
That's it. That's an automatic. I don't know. Phil's going to challenge that, but you saw in the replay, he hit him with his thumb and index finger coming across the face. You know, like we spoke earlier, Mendez is a fantastic fiery player, plays with a lot of emotion. There's the 2-minute on Marco.
Yeah, Marco out of the box now, so the penalty kill is successful for the Strikers.
So pivotal moment, pivotal moment. You know, a great penalty kill by the Strikers. You know, very effective there. Now comes their power play, and it's imperative that they get a goal here.
Potentially, Mendez is out of the box right now.
Challenge, incorrect blue card.
So Servando Berna is who you just heard from. Sandiego challenging an incorrect blue card. If the blue card stays, the Strikers will go on the power play for the first time today, where they're operating at 24% efficiency on the season. Sandiego, their penalty kill is deadly at 83%. So it's very hard to score against Sandiego in general, but even more difficult to score on them in the power play. There we see, trying to find that replay again. That's still the call. That was on Marco.
Yeah, we saw it earlier. So, I mean, it's there.
All in all, we just want to say thank you again for tuning into this broadcast. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday night, and thank you for making us a part of that.
Yeah, and another little shout out to Charlie Gonzalez, former Ontario Fury player here at Toyota Arena, was injured and is rehabbing, and hoping all's well with him.
For the Sockers fans listening to this broadcast, we did see Charlie. Charlie was walking very well when we spoke to him earlier today. So here's the challenge flag result as we kick it to Servando Berna.
After review, Sandiego, number 13, contacted number 10, Empire, on the face. The final decision is foul, blue card. Decision on the field stands.
Okay, so the blue card stands as Seba Mendez is in the box. So if there was ever a time for the Empire to strike back, it would be now. You talk about windows of opportunity and moments. Well, if the Strikers are going to look to find their way in, they're going to have to average a goal a minute if they're going to look to win this one in regulation.
Which is certainly possible. We saw something similar to that with Milwaukee and Tacoma in their games. So certainly there, but I mean, you got to go quickly.
Gratterall wearing the extra attacker jersey. Fabian shot just above the crossbar. It corrals its way into Somo. Stinson was calling for it, as Stinson has so much space and all the time in the world. Diaz-Gonzalez connects with Stinson, threads it into Fabian. Fabian back to the stinger. Marco shot, kick saved. Another attempt. Diaz-Gonzalez thwarted by Toth. If we add $1 for every time we've said denied, thwarted by Toth, we'd have ourselves enough to buy a splendid dinner here in Ontario, California. Toth has been incredible for Sandiego today.
And he throws a little rainbow to Nick Pereira. So, you know, as soon as the goalkeeper makes the save, they make a quick change to get the target up top. Get, you know, have the goalkeeper get to the target to kind of kill the penalty. So now, you know, Sandiego can kind of take some more time off the clock.
Restart Será off the United Chiropractic Health Center dashboard. Shout out Dr. Fantasia, who's helped fix my question mark cracked back. Toth in the Será to Cardenas. 4 minutes remaining here in the quarter. Approaching a minute to go of this power play. Felipe, shot saved. And Polo Hernandez bounces it into Orozco. Orozco motions to Servando Berna for a timeout. So the strikers are going to go to the clipboard, see what head coach Anu Obasi draws up here. 52 seconds remaining in this power play. You've been in this position a time or two. What can we see out of the strikers? What do we think Obasi is going to draw up?
Well, my guess is that they're going to go to sixth attacker. They called the timeout. I mean, if they weren't going to go to that, then Brian would have continued to play and move forward. So I would think he was going to go to the sixth attacker, but I don't see anybody. Is that Gratterall moving now? I mean, it all comes down to Philly is, you know, what I said in my insights is, you know, the tempo of the game. Sandiego's dictated that. You know, at home of late, Empire has run, pinned the ears back and just took off, scored goals in bunches, and they have not done that effectively. They've been just a half step off, right? And just allowing Sandiego to get numbers behind the ball. They go that 3-2 at the midline and just kind of front the front runners. So, you know, it's just one of these things where right now Empire needs to create the isolations and then those quick changes to catch the windows open when they're shifting. Let Justin hit it when he's in rhythm, as opposed to passes going off foot or at an angle to where he can't strike it first time to goal. They've got to start putting guys in better situations and positions to score versus just connecting a pass and then waiting for the guy to score. And that's what we've seen with Sandiego. If you look at the goals from Sandiego, the balls that are coming through are ones in which the player can strike the ball to goal. The definition of a perfect pass, Philly, is where the recipient of the pass can run onto the ball and the goal at the same time and strike the ball towards frame in their first touch. That's not happening for the strikers, and that's what the Sockers have done tonight.
Orozco to Fabian. Cardenas closing in on him. Goes into Stinson. 34 seconds remaining of this power play. Fabian, that takes a wicked bounce. Somo, exquisite touch, might I add. Somo backheels it to Diaz-Gonzalez. The Cuban international futsaler blasts it off of Felipe.
But see, that's my point, Philly. That's a great touch from Somo. However, Walter Diaz is sitting there, hips forward, left peg on. If he just pancakes or sets that ball, soul steps that ball to where Walter can run onto it, now he's looking at going off frame.
Fabian smacks it off the plexi.
Just like that. See how Fabian was faced up, ready to hit it? That's what they've got to look for.
5 seconds on this power play. Another shot saved by Toth. As Gratterall's attempt denied. The power play is over. Gratterall, not sure if he saw Mendez, but that was very cool, calm, and collective. Stinson spins around. Over to Somo. Ali, looking to flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, does not there. Mendez in the Será. Like I talked about, Felipe Gonzalez has played a great game as well. Last season only played in 3 games. Started 2. I mean, over the course of a career, over 130 games played. But Felipe Gonzalez has gotten a lot of minutes this year. We got a blue card on the turf given to Diaz-Gonzalez. What is going on?
I missed it. I was looking at, you were talking about Felipe Gonzalez, and I was looking at Felipe, so not really sure.
And so
he called a handball because he reached outside the box to pick up the ball. So if you look at it, so I thought he was pointing at Walter, but in fact was pointing at the area where the goalkeeper handled the ball. So it's not feet inside the box, it has to do with the ball. So if your feet are inside the area and you reach outside the area and collect the ball, that's an intentional handball, and a goalkeeper, that's a 2-minute penalty.
There we see an engaging conversation between the two officials.
So here's the question: if they still had the challenge, they could challenge to make sure that none of the ball was, if any smidge of the ball is touching the line, then there's no infraction. So the crowd's kind of giving their opinion of the call, but they've used their challenge. Oh, this is a great view.
Excellent view, and shout out to our production crew.
Empire goalkeeper handed the ball outside of the penalty area. The final decision is blue card shootout.
There you heard it, blue card shootout.
See, that's a tough call right there.
And Diaz Gonzalez, you don't see him on the screen. We see him by the striker's bench. He is livid.
Okay, so the officials, I think the officials may have lizard-eyed this, right? They were looking one way and then looked up at the screen and see possibly that they made an error. So in the final minutes, the officials can call, because it's going to be a shootout, they can call or they can unilaterally review the play. And we saw with the indication of the screen that they're going to take it upon themselves, which is I think, good officiating in this situation.
So Servando Berna is going to give us the final result here.
So that look there?
I thought he was. Well, maybe not.
After referee-initiated review, the decision is a handball, but there is no shootout. No blue card, is just a handball.
Okay, so there you go.
Now, hopefully y'all caught that at home. If not, Artie, could you just repeat that to make sure that our audience on MASL TV and KVCR PBS heard what was going on?
So basically it's a handball, but they're not saying that it's a handball, one in which where the goalkeeper came and handled it purposefully with intent to stop a goal scoring situation. You know, it was, I don't want to say inadvertent, but I think they're giving a wide breadth of the interpretation of the rule here. But I think that's fair because you look at it, it's a pretty tight call. The angle, our guys do a great job with that overhead. Fantastic job for our production crew.
Yeah, that overhead is money. You couldn't pay me enough to hang that camera up there in that
super
position.
Yeah, fear factor moment right there.
Oh, forget it. By the way, it's been a great show with Johnny Knoxville at the helm.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I could not do that show. Restart. Pereira. Morales overcooks it. Those boards right around the goal are going to have to get tested because they've just been pelted time and time again. And even with us being as high up in the rafters as we are with our cups over our head, just hear how loud it is even on the floor.
I love to watch Mendez play, man. He's just so fiery. You saw that right there. He was losing it, and he was going to grab his foot, and he got the call that he was apologetic. And I love that enthusiasm and just competitive spirit.
Looking for that Hattie, but Shalir says, no sombrero for you, young man. Sudeth into Shalir. Shalir finds Fabian. Serda. Look at the defense by Bebe Gonzalez. Serda cleans it up. We're under 2 minutes to play. We are oh so close to seeing the strikers get skunked at home. Diaz Gonzalez, 90 seconds to go. At this point, a goal would just be a moral victory for the Empire. It's going to be a Sandiego win here. But can the strikers at least find one?
They've got to go with some urgency here. You don't want to get skunked at home.
Orozco thought he was going to tee off on Toth. Under a minute to go. Toth could potentially get the second shutout. The pass off the wall, cleared. Excellent defending by Cardenas and Serda. Fabian to Mansoure. Palmer getting pushed by Cardenas. These two gladiators fighting on the wall. 34.4 seconds.
Chris has done a great job with the guys in front of him and done an excellent job as well. As you're watching this, you see the shifts. So Chris just has these windows between the defenders that he's got to account for, and just the perfection over the top he can't save. So, you know, it's just making it very difficult just how organized Sandiego is.
Diaz Gonzalez field goals it above the crossbar. Less than 30 seconds remaining. Chris Toth can potentially collect himself a shutout. Throws it in to his teammate Pereira. That comes off of Nick and into the Sockers bench.
Pereira with his hands up. You really think my technique is that bad?
Nick Pereira didn't get a goal today. He's been on a 4-game heater, but the amount of depth that Sandiego has, Nick Pereira didn't need to be a factor. 10 seconds. The shutout on the verge. Diaz Gonzalez, Shalir, Fabian, last chance, off the wall. Sandiego successfully skunks the Strikers on their home turf, 4-0. A tremendous game by Chris Toth and the entire Sockers crew. This is the 25th shutout in MASL history. This is Sandiego's 3rd shutout in MASL. This is the 2nd time the Empire has been shut out and the 1st time at home, and this is the 3rd career shutout for Chris Toth. What a tremendous performance by the Sockers. And shout out to our statisticians, Jason and Holly. Thank you so much for that info. What a game by the Sockers.
2 words, Chris Toth. You know,
that would be 2 words, 2 syllables, yes.
You know, I mean, he had just a special game today. Just save after save after save, leadership. Sandiego of old, organized, committed, did what they do. And you know, it's a mantra of any great program is we do what we do, we win. And you know, and they did. Strikers had some good looks, had some good opportunities, but Chris came out big every single time. You know, I think that maybe there could have been some changes. You know, you don't want to second guess coach, but at the end you just let Sandiego dictate the tempo, and Sandiego got the result that they wanted.
The Strikers would end up out shooting the Sockers by a very narrow and thin margin, 23-22. Strikers did have their opportunities. They missed a couple of sitters within the first half and one in particular in the second half, but Chris Toth just played tremendous. Luis Morales, goal assisted by Drew Ruggles. Seba Mendez, 2 goals, each assisted by Cardenas and Childs. Then Childs would get his very own goal, assisted by Jesus Pacheco. And I'm pretty sure we are going to hear from the shutout specialist, Chris Toth, because I think he's going to be chatting with Amanda Filliman. So we're going to stand by, wait for that. Obviously, we'd love to hear from Chris Toth as he comes back to Toyota Arena, where he's been a longtime member of the Empire Strikers / Ontario Fury organization. I see him chatting with the Sockers fans that took the trip down for this SoCal showdown. But either way, again, you got to tip your hat off to Sandiego. The Strikers getting skunked at home, it's not something you see very often. Honestly, it's not something we've ever seen, period.
No, it's a very unfortunate result for the Empire Strikers. You know, I mean, the season now is going to be a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, they've got to dial it back up. You know, this gives Tacoma some incentive. Again, coming in tonight, both teams could get to 31 points. So they just got to start to